Hey guys, my name is Beans. Welcome back to my channel. And today I am just going to be talking about and giving some advice on how to let go and how that process looks like. And it's going to be different for everyone because not everyone is going to be letting go of the same thing. Not everyone reacts to letting go the same way. And the main reason why I want to talk about this issue is because I've noticed a lot in my readings about this upcoming year and giving people advice is that a lot of people are going to be going through the process of having to letting go of people, letting go of situations, letting go of emotions, letting go of things that they thought were going to happen. And so I thought it would just be a great idea to talk about how that goes, what that looks like, what are some steps that are involved in the letting go process. And the first step in letting go is number one, you have to prioritize yourself. You have to prioritize your needs. And the problem with this is sometimes people aren't used to prioritizing themselves because it feels selfish to them. Like they've never ever put their needs, it's not even wants, it's needs, things that you need in your life to help you be sustainable. They're not used to putting that in any type of priority position. So then they feel like anytime that they take any moment for themselves, that is selfish. But it's not selfish to take care of yourself. And so it's super important to come to that realization that number one, you need to take care of you. And it's okay to take care of you. And it's not selfish to take care of you, you know? And let yourself be happy, let your needs get taken care of, and so coming to that realization in itself can be a big first step, and it can be a little hard, but it's definitely necessary. Another thing that's super important in the process of letting go is allowing yourself to process your thoughts and emotions. And in order to really process your thoughts and emotions, you need to really sit down with them. You need to take a moment away from everything to clear your head and be like, okay, let me think this through. Let me figure out my thoughts. Sometimes we're just so chaotic and we're so everywhere that it's hard to figure out anything that's going on. So it's like we need to take a moment, we need to figure out what's going on inside of our head, and then we have to actually feel our emotions so that way we can let them out and process them. And that can look like crying. That's a great way to release emotions. That can look like yelling, that can look like screaming, that can look like punching something. Just whatever you need to do to release your emotions. Oftentimes exercising is a good way to release emotions. You can write down how you're feeling on a piece of paper to help you release your emotions. If you're going to do it that way, you can also burn it. I like to burn it to visually get that release too, but that is just a myself and I type thing. You can also just speak your emotions out loud. There are power in words, just being able to say something out loud feels so freeing sometimes, and sometimes that's all you need is to be able to get it out your system. And even if no one hears, be like, at least it was said, at least the air knows how I feel about this situation. And then allow yourself to grieve. Sometimes we don't allow ourselves to grieve a loss that has happened. Sometimes we get so caught up in I'm not allowed to feel anything, I'm not allowed to have any emotions, that we just keep everything bottled inside. But the moment you start bottling everything up inside, that's when it all starts to bubble up, and eventually it's going to explode in an unpredictable way that's going to hurt you. So let it out in tiny bursts where it won't hurt anyone, where you can manage it instead of letting it boil and becoming this huge big thing. Something that I often see when people are struggling to let go is also they are stuck in the past. They are stuck in the way things used to be. The most common thing that I hear is, but we used to be this way. It used to be so good. We used to be so happy. The thing is, you guys used to be like that. It used to feel this way. But how is it feeling now? How is this situation affecting you right now in this moment? Because if you're constantly living in the past, if you're constantly stuck on how things were, you can't fix things, okay? And also, you're just going to continue getting hurt, because you're not seeing the situation clearly for what it is, So it's a matter of, let me get out of how things used to be, and let me see how I can fix this situation right now in this moment. What can I do to make this better? And sometimes in the process of that, you realize the only way to make things better is to let go of what we had before, you know? You have to be okay, and you have to get comfortable with the fact that sometimes things are going to change. Sometimes things are not going to be the way that they were. And so you have to be like, okay, if they're not going to be the way that they were, let me find something new to create, you know? Because life is constantly changing, life is constantly evolving, and nothing really ever stays the same. So you have to be okay with that fact and be like, let me find something new, let me create something new. And you can't do that if you're stuck in the past. It's also really important to learn from your mistakes. Sometimes the things that hold us back is we feel that we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we could get hurt again, and somehow that keeps us stuck in the past. It keeps us stuck in a moment, but if you're like, okay, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, I'm going to do better, I'm going to make sure that I don't put myself in that position again, it allows you to still move forward. It allows you to still make decisions, so that way you don't get stuck in the same place, So it's a matter of, instead of just staying stuck, instead of being scared of putting yourself back out there and trying something new, let's make sure that we don't do that same thing again. Let's learn, let's grow, And also seeking community. I am a believer in the power of community. Community is just so helpful. It can provide you with guidance. It can provide you with support. So having people who you can talk to, who you can confide in, who you can seek comfort in, is so incredibly important. And if you don't have a community, I would encourage you to find a community, because as humans, we are people who thrive and survive in communities. So that's just something that I'm super big on. And one of the last things is focus on what makes you happy. Find what makes you happy, Sometimes what we really just need is a redirection of energy. Instead of focusing on what we're letting go of, instead of focusing on what we could be losing, sometimes we just need to focus on what our goals are, what makes us happy, what brings us some satisfaction. And in that, you will find not only happiness, but release, You'll end up in a place that is way better than before, And practicing mindfulness can also help in this whole process. So those are just some tips and tricks of how to let go and how to deal with those situations. And so I hope this helps everyone. And if you found this useful or informative, give it a like, give it a share, subscribe, do the things.